That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Comic Reviews. I am Sid Part 2, and I have got just a mountain of books to talk about this week. So, I don't know if anyone's here live yet. I'm sorry, I cannot wait tonight. I've got to get going. You cannot believe this stack. If you're here after the fact and you clicked on it because you want to hear me talk about Batman number 21, I'm sorry, but that was the very first thing I read too because I'm a sane, rational person. And so the way I do this show, I start with the last thing I read. So that'll be at the end of the show. Check the description for timestamps, and it should be there for your viewing pleasure. Anyway, whew, 5 viewers right off the bat. Not bad, not bad. Got anyone in the comments section? Yes, looks like it. Joel, hi, Joel. Scott, hi, Scott. Dr. Hologron, good to see you. Philip Kelton, hey, Chris Cooper. Exactly, Chris Cooper, perfectly nail on the head. Everything came out today, and now I'm broke. Same. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the last thing I read, which was Venom, number 6. Okay, so I have mixed feelings on this issue because it's more of an action issue with just cool things happening and fun art, and I dig that and everything. But it's also treading a lot of ground that we've already covered, specifically with Spider-Man and Venom. And not just like, they're reflective enemies and stuff. We've done this exact story trope with Spider-Man and Venom before. And I'll read the moment of dialogue that triggers this huge character moment for the symbiote. I didn't actually come here to fight. I came for the suit. I want it back so things can be the way they used to be. That is literally the exact thing that we've done. You can see it in the original Venom, in some of the old 90s Venom comics, Venom comics. You can see it in it got adapted for an episode of Spectacular Spider-Man. It's just one of those things we've done a lot, and I don't like that about it. But at the same time, it's very aware of the history of this move. Eddie Brock comes on the scene and says to Spider-Man, I have a plan, but you won't like it. Right before this happens, it's literally on the page prior. And this causes the symbiote who hates Lee, hates being in this relationship with Lee, to pull up all these bad memories for Lee, manipulate him so that it can get strong enough to get away from Spider-Man. But in doing so, turns out it was all a trick, and it's been, separated from Lee and captured by Spider-Man. And I do love this moment of Spider-Man and of the Venom symbiote after Spider-Man has captured it. No, I hate you. Why do this? I hate you. Please remember to give my son my lightsaber when he gets old enough. Sorry, joke. I got the jokes. Waiting to see the comments explode at that one, because that was a clever joke. But yeah, that's really good. And Lee's getting arrested because he's powerless now. So I think Costa knows what he's doing with that move. I just maybe would have preferred to see it in a different way. And what worries me, well, not entirely, because there's a strong sense. I'm potentially worried about this before I have a legitimate problem with it. I'm potentially worried that it could be a mistake in what made this book so strong and work so well for me, but it could just as easily be, good storytelling to create suspense and drama. What happens at the end of this, spoilers, is Eddie Brock gets the symbiote back. So I don't know how to feel about that. Is Eddie Brock going to be the symbiote again? Is Lee going to get it back? Is it going to be is it going to realize that it's been used by Spider-Man and Eddie Brock, and that even though Lee didn't like Lee, it's I don't know. It's this weird thing. Chris Cooper asks in the comments, do you think Lee will be a recurring character moving forward? I hope so, at least for the run of this series. I don't need him to be like part of the Spider mythos forever and ever. But I would hope that he'd come back, because if he just got left with like we get this major character reveal in this issue, I'd like to think that he's going to come back. And that just this panel of him with a cop mocking him isn't the end of it. I just think he's a really interesting pair for the symbiote. Yeah, and there's stuff in the comments talking about Eddie Brock wouldn't want the symbiote anymore, and fair enough. I like to think of it as an addiction, as an abusive relationship, so I have no problem believing that he would slip back into that. I'm of multiple minds about it, though it can easily be considered regression. I don't know. Venom number 150 is next month's issue, so I assume that it's like a time jump, right? Joking. I don't know. Interesting issue, but it's on shaky-ish ground, though. Let's go ahead and move on to Star Wars Poe Dameron number 13. So I talked about this on Twitter. I desperately need to drop some books. And this book has never truly been bad. But you know what? It's good is just like, yeah, it's a good issue or whatever, you know, it was fun, or oh, that was a cool idea for a story arc. It's good has never been. Yes. Exactly. Red's with me here. Cancel Poe. It's dull. That's the thing, is like there's big epic space battles and subterfuge with robots and stuff. But this book is just so like whatever. I just don't care anymore about what's happening to this thing. It's being written with such a low level of impact. And like that's a weird thing to say because a character dies in this issue. Someone tell me something. Mr. Bones. I know I've got the Star Wars fans in the comments. Mr. Bones, isn't that a character from one of the new canon novels? Again, this isn't like a bad issue. It's just so half-hearted. Yeah, so Mr. Bones is from Aftermath. I'm like, okay, fine, cool reference to current canon and all that stuff, but just none of this is really knocking it out of the park for me. And that's disappointing. Yeah, and Red, Mr. Bones shows up in this issue, or at least his programming does briefly. I'm thinking of trimming the poll list because weeks like this are starting to get a bit much. And so I need to do something to trim this pull list a bit, and this book is not something I'm really ever looking forward to. We're over a year into it, and it's still only managed to go, you know, that was pretty good. Yeah, so Poe is getting dropped, I believe. It's not bad. It's just consistently not impressive. All right. Black Hammer. Number 8. Guys, this book just, like a punch to the gut, man. Oof, knocks the wind out of you. More stuff with Golden Gale. Literally everything with Golden Gale is just knocking me dead. There is one thing I want to talk about before we get into Gale, and that is that Black Hammer's daughter, who's now in town with them, is trying to was trying to do research on what the town is, the history of the town, named Rockwood. And so the mystery deepens as she goes to the local library and looks up town history, and all the books about the town have blank pages. So there's mystery deepening, and relationships are building further with Barbalian and this priest who he's attracted to. But God, just these scenes with Gale, as she keeps just trying everything to change back into a goddamn adult. Zaphram cracks the mirror. You get this history between her and her arch nemesis, kind of like a Lex Luthor type. And she's just getting she's so friggin' depressed, man. This is just sad. And then there's more mystery deepening as Walkie Talkie is shot by Colonel Weird. And the mystery of this is going places, y'all. Really, it's getting pretty damn thick, and I'm getting really intrigued. Walkie Talkie's the only character who I've not had a full origin for, and he just fucking died. And the Colonel says, "We can never leave Talkie. I can't allow it." So we have now the Colonel and the Witch, who are the characters we see the least because they seem to have some kind of other outlets. They're trying to keep people in Rockwood, which is interesting because the Witch, the Dragonfly lady, she removed Black Hammer's daughter's memories, or some of them at least. So it'd be interesting to see where this all goes and leads to and whatnot. But it's good, guys. Like, there's so much emotion for just this one character in this, but there's also a lot of development of the story, and it's just little scenes checking in on these different characters. Oh, people are talking about Grant Morrison's Batman. What y'all trying to do? You're trying to distract this video. I will not have it. We're going to move right along to Trinity. Number 8. Superman Reborn Aftermath. My thoughts for this can be summed up in one or two sentences. okay, but I thought I was reading Trinity, not Superman. And interesting enough idea playing with the multiverse again, but I already have something out this week that's doing that, at least slightly better. So can't I just have my Ra's al Ghul, Lex Luthor, Cersei story back? Because for what that was, I was enjoying it. And to interrupt that right in the middle with this seems odd, because from what I could tell, this does not in any way build into that, even by the end. I don't know. Chris Cooper talking about Black Hammer. Yeah, Lemire is apparently a really active writer, but I highly recommend that because it's like his baby and it's really good. But yeah, it's not bad. It's well written. It's got interesting ideas and some like cool poses and stuff, cool moments. Like, that's a cool panel. Superman, two Supermans being held off by Wonder Woman and Batman, respectively. That's neat. I like that. But it's just weird to interrupt another story with this one-off. This probably just should have been an action or Superman. I mean, Batman and Wonder Woman are involved, but not significantly enough. And again, it's just it would be fine if it were an interlude, but it apparently doesn't seem to have anything to do with what's going on otherwise. This is a cool double-page spread of all the different versions of them. But again, it doesn't really seem to mean all that much. I don't know. Not a bad issue, just kind of like, okay, this was a book I paid $4 for. It's a little weak for $4. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Super Sons, number 3. I really like this, guys. This is just fun. This is just a really fun book. I just love everything about this. Just comes down to Damian and John. Everything about this just comes down to how those two are written. And like the exact same plot would be super boring, but everything about this, like this page is perfect for their relationship. They're sitting there, they're arguing, they're bickering, they're fighting. There's a cloud of smoke. Now, and then they go and charge together. That's freaking perfect. Oh, I don't know, man. It's just that really works for me. Everything about the way these two are written together is insanely fun. Let's see if I can find the bit about Teen Titans, because that was pretty funny. Just Damian being such a dick. You can't join my club. Then they keep having this thing about names. Touch my cycle and you will never be considered for the Titans. Whatever, Dork Knight. I'm calling my dad. Like hell you are. You're pushing it to names. Jerk! You're going to get us both killed. You're free to fly at any point, or should I say jump a few feet. Oh, man, it's great. It's the Teen Titans, not the Toddler Titans. Are you 13? Because I'm 13. Damian's just such a little dick. I love it. Oh, man, it's too much fun. And now we finally, 3 issues later, we finally get into all the action that the first issue of this opened up with. That took a while. Matthew Bennett, you're kind of late. Oh, forgive me, people. I'm almost at the end of this. Just one sec, man. Yeah, it's a fun issue. There's like a big suspenseful moment here at the end and stuff. I'm excited to see where it keeps going. Again, everything about this is just for the way these two interact with each other. Hysterical. Matthew, did you get your action figure yet? Matthew won a impromptu contest that I did last week on Comic Reviews, and I sent him an action figure. I did an impromptu giveaway. It was certainly exciting. Ooh, man, oh man. How's everyone else doing? Everyone good? Everyone having a good time? Whew. What's going on in there? Oh, that show. Fiance's watching Pretty Little Liars. Terrible show. Well, I'm waiting for Matt to respond, and I don't see anything yet, so... Okay. Am I covering Redneck? No, I've not heard of this. Matt hasn't yet to get his action figure. I hope it arrives. It's going to suck if it doesn't come back. Oh, well, Dr. Holocron is telling me something kind of important, so I actually do want to check on that real quick. Hope y'all don't mind. Just see if I got something in real quick. Thanks, Doc. I'll listen to those later on when I'm not recording a live show. All right, we should get back to the the reviews here. Batwoman number 2. Pretty good. There's just a lot of interesting symbolism that Bennett likes to play with, and it's kind of all here in this opening page. Again, this idea of scars is coming up for Kate Kane. That's really important. And we're getting some more of the subterfuge, and we really are getting kind of like a globe-trotting Bond-esque Bat book right now for those interested in that kind of thing. We get some villains teased at the end of this. Like, okay, let me describe this. Let me describe the plot of this book. Kate Kane had a relationship on an island with a person in her past. That person had ties to a criminal syndicate, but uses them for the greater good. Kate is gallivanting around the world in luxury, and the villain being set up is a corporate entity with ties to terrorist organizations. What about that doesn't sound like a Bond book to you? If you're a fan of Bond, this would probably be a decent book to be reading. A lot of that, of what's going on in this, feels very Bond-esque. And I think that's, I mean, look at that panel. That's got to be at least some degree of intentional, right? I think she's aware of what she's calling back to. And certainly Bond does not have a monopoly on those kinds of stories. There's a lot being done, even in that first Rebirth issue, which is still my favorite of the series, to tie it back to Batwoman as a character. There's a knife fight with an assassin in this. Oh, I also should mention, I like the unique designs being showcased on Batwoman's costume here. We get two things ridiculously quickly. Oh, okay, I didn't see that earlier. Interesting. We get three things ridiculously quickly. There's the arm spike gauntlet things shoot out as batarangs now. This will be hard to see in just this panel, but if you look at Kate Kane's hand in the corner right there, it's actually glowing orangish red in that one panel compared to these two hands that you see up here where it's like flat red, and she uses it to burn her adversary's face. So that was a pretty cool little, like, two just quick little things for additions. I like that. Then we've got like these bat drones. Like, oh, there's another little addition. She's apparently got command keys in the gauntlets that control these things. So I don't know. Just a lot of little stuff, but I really like this book, guys. It's just cool. I will say that some of these characters that are talked about show up way faster than they should have. Like there's a torch that's lit, and then just almost like a page later, these characters show up. Yeah, literally a page later, these characters show up. So they must have really come running. Wow, this lady cut off this dude's hand just to steal his motorcycle. That's a little much. Shit. But yeah, interesting stuff going on here. I'm digging it, y'all. I am digging it. This is more plot heavy than I typically prefer. This, I can tell they're setting up like a longer thing. So I'm not super pleased about that. But you know, that's fine. It's okay to do. It's certainly not the only thing doing that. These villains that they set up, just these like corporatized villains that run the Cali Corporation, seem kind of like flat but incredibly intimidating at the same time for just the short bit they have. Their secretary says, the Sudanese gentleman has inquired if you sell nerve agents. And they respond, and how did you answer him? Are you inquiring about our stock of sarin gas, or do you prefer Zyklon B? Well done. That's pretty... That is pretty scary. And then they just see everything as investments. I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes. They run an organization called the Mini Hands, or the Mini Arms of Death. What is it? Damn it. Hold on. Hold on. Gotta find it. The Mini Arms of Death. They run an organization called the Mini Arms of Death. And so you get to the end here, and they say, and now the mini hands will tighten right around Kate Kane's pretty little throat. It's like a couple that finishes each other's sentences in just this really creepy way. Ugh. I'm interested to see where that goes. Matthew Bennett asks, how many pages of just ads are in this book? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, come on. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's a pretty significant portion. Dr. Holocron asks, how many secret organizations does DC have? It's not a secret organization, or maybe it is. I don't know. I think it's their organization. I think the power couple kind of like runs it. It's unclear, but yeah, that is a question I always ask. It's less a problem when they're like global entities and more a problem when it's like specific to a city. Like, it always bugged me that Gotham had like the Court of Owls at the same time in continuity with like the Black Hand and stuff. Because I'm like, well, wait, do these people show up to the same meetings? It's like one guy show up to a Black Hand meeting in the Court of Owls mask and go, oh shit, sorry. What's up with that? Whew. But yeah, good book. Not my favorite style of structuring a story, but well done nonetheless. So I'm excited to see how it goes. Moving right along. God, this is a thick-ass issue. To Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor, number 3.4. Here's a cover that has absolutely nothing to do with the book. Hey, look, River Song's in this issue. Nope. No, she's not. Hey, look, Rose Tyler's in this. Nope. No, she's not. The hell with that. Again, we're talking about trimming the fat on this show. I hate to say it, because I was enjoying the hell out of this series at one point in time, but when I caught up with it, it's not like it had like a, okay, this is good, it sucked. It's just like it's been, okay, this is pretty good, this is pretty good. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, well, not so much. Not so much. Not so much. So yeah, I'm not digging this series as much as I once did. It's not that it's even bad. It's just, guys, I almost fell asleep reading this issue. You know how hard it is to fall asleep reading a comic? There's just so much talking. It just doesn't work in the same way. You know, it's just a disappointing read anymore. Like, there's so much dialogue. There's interesting ideas here. It's just too much. It's one of those things, like, you read something like, even if you don't like it, okay? Even if you don't like it, you read something like Batman by Tom King, or even Batman by Scott Snyder, and you can tell people genuinely love the character, love the universe, and have new and unique ideas that they want to push and want to push them in the medium of comics. This is like a guy who can't get onto the writing staff of the Doctor Who television series, but they liked him enough that they gave him the book. That's what it feels like. It's like there's nothing inherently bad. It's just, well, there's so many better ideas out there. I don't know. Akuma Ranger says you would think a Doctor Who comic would be more imaginative. You know, that's not the problem. It's not that it's not imaginative. There are good ideas here, and it's fun to see some of them, but at the same time, it's just dragging. It's just like, this is such a slow burn. And like, this is just a 2-issue story, but I'm done with it. I got exhausted by the end of this. Titan really needs to step up their game with these Doctor Who comics. They really need to. Like, fucking Torchwood's a nightmare, but they need to do more with this. Because I like ideas here. It's just, what the hell? And there's even fun bits. Cindy's been captured and cloned like millions of times, or 500 times rather. And so she has this line when she reunites with Gabby, I got 500 thankless kids. Not one of them will talk to me. It's a good line. I don't know what happened to this book. It's like as soon as Gabby stopped drawing like little bits in journals, just really lost me, guys. That's disappointing because I like Cindy, I like Gabby, I like these characters, but this really lost me. Maybe it's one of those things that reads better in trade. I don't know, but I plan on picking up the trades to find out. I am disappointed to say this book has gone very much downhill for me. Kong of Skull Island, number 10. Keep talking about trimming the fat. Yeah, I'm just losing interest in this too. It's not even that this is a badly written issue. I still have a really hard time remembering who the hell is who, but it's not even that it's a badly written issue or anything. I'm just losing interest in this. It was meant to be a miniseries, and they were doing a good job in those first couple issues, and that's where I was liking it. But the second it got turned into an ongoing, it seems like they just ran out of ideas of what kind of stories to tell. I don't care for what it's developed into. It was meant to be 6 issues. By 10, we're just like, oh God. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm dropping this too. It's not like, there's well-written scenes here. It's just like boring. I don't care. I'm not invested in these people anymore. There's these huge time jumps. That's confusing. A lot of the art is too damn dark, and I have a hard time telling what's happening. Like, it almost looks like, can I do something here? Let's see if I can figure something out real quick. Like, I need Google and I need a keyboard real quick. Un momento. Doop 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 doo. All right, so first I need to go to Google, and Hold on, I'll see if I can get this going. Screen share. Google. Or I'll say full screen. Okay. Share screen. Let me check. Can y'all see my screen? I'm going to assume yes. All right, let's go to Google and we're going to image search cave images. Because I want you all to see what I'm talking about. Because it looks like some of the stuff in this, I don't even need to do that. It looks like everyone say hi to the picture of Danny. It looks like some of the art in this is just like poorly photoshopped backgrounds. Now, try that again. All right. Y'all seeing what I'm doing? Okay. Yeah, they're all right. So I'm just going to do a really, really quick effect. Artistic ink sketch. Okay. I literally did nothing to that image, but tell it to convert to ink sketch, okay? Now I'm going to go back into the camera, okay? Tell me this picture or this panel does not look like they did that. Like, I know obviously it's not as high a quality image to compare to, and you only saw the other one for a few seconds, but if you look really closely at just the way the lines work on the way this is inked, it looks exactly the same. I swear they just like lazily did that. I don't like it, guys. It's really sketchy, overly inked art, if nothing else. If it's not just you know, one of those things. I don't know. You in the comments tell me if you think I'm reaching, but I think they might have just poorly photoshopped things, because I'm just looking at different panels here and it looks not good. Ugh. Whew. So yeah, this is another book that's getting dropped if I remember to. That's the problem, is I never remember. And I'm disappointed because I really enjoyed the first issue of this. This really hit it big for me in that first issue, and I was like ready to love this book, but no. Unfortunately, so falls the king. Okay. I'm going to talk about these two together because they're one continuous story. This picks up right where this leaves off. So we got Steve Rogers, Captain America, number 16, and Secret Empire, number 0. Will this float or sink? It all comes down to Secret Empire. Woo! Things are going all kinds of wrong in all kinds of ways. We're getting more and more information. Things keep happening in different ways here. And then there might also be some social commentary. So, like, Zemo has this line that I feel might be indicative of the whole thing. He sends Bucky off to die. After Bucky gets a farewell message from Cap saying, I know I can't convince you of what I believe, but it was good working with you, Bucky. And then Bucky dies. So Zemo says, right before he sends Bucky off, poor Bucky, you still don't understand, do you? Facts, reality, these things are simply what we make them. I've decided what I believe. And if this story Steven tells is a lie, then I will make it true. That's an interesting ass line, and bears keeping in mind as we get to the beginning of Secret Empire. So Steve Rogers back in 19... Yes? Why did I want to call him Steve Trevor? That was stupid. Steve Rogers back in 1945 is shown an ally plot to change reality using a cosmic cube so that the Allies would win the war. And they would mess with Cap's mind and all kinds of things. But it is foretold that something will happen and he will be able to be brought back to his original state. And so we're shown the cosmic cube starting to take effect, and that's what leads to the continuity we all know and love. And that's why everyone trusts Captain America. But the Red Skull, if we're to take this only at what we are shown on the page, Cap was always a member of Hydra. The Allies used a cosmic cube to change reality to make him think he was the Captain America we all know and love. And then just recently, he was given his true memories back. Now, here's the thing. I understand why people are pissed about this, but that's a pretty big reveal for the beginning issue if that's all there is to the story. This issue tells us only the full extent of what Cap currently believes. And again, in the context of this line, I have decided what I believe, and if this story Steven tells is a lie, then I will make it true. And that's... So, like, it is entirely possible that this is just what Cap believes. Now, the question is, why would the Cosmic Cube, if it's loyal to Red Skull, make him believe that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not enough of a reader of Captain America to be familiar if he has any kind of relationship with Cosmic Cubes. I don't know. It's certainly a head scratcher. I think a lot of my problems with this book come more from the writer himself than from the story itself. I've certainly had my problems with the story, but what really puts this series on shaky ground for me is Nick Spencer as a like person. Nick Spencer's Twitter is like the surefire way to make this book not enjoyable. Because again, I'm always willing to hear a writer out and let them tell their story. Even if it seems counterintuitive to the character, even if it means making the character a Nazi, which I would normally say, yeah, you can't do that. I'm willing to give him some rope, provided that he might hang us with it, but I'm willing to give him some rope. It's just this question of, does he know what he's doing? And I'd like to think so, because again, it is entirely possible this is just the full extent of what Cap believes, but it's not the actual reality. And forces are now working to make it reality. I don't know. Nathan Snyder's cutting the rope. I feel you. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand the worry behind it. But again, it's not like he's writing Cap as a Nazi and that makes him a good guy. He's clearly writing a very troubled Captain America. And he's made a point throughout this run to go, listen, I understand the damn comics. I've read them all. I know the history. I know what's going on. This is just another part of that. Don't let it freak you out too much. And he's using it to try to say something that I think on some level or another is interesting. This is how we were overwhelmed and overrun, and this is how we were betrayed. It happened in an instant. The defenses were broken, and the Horde rushed through. They came to collect their trophy. She had just come in to blah, blah, blah. Hope fell with her. But if we understood that it was anger that led them there, oh, where's it at? We failed to grasp the depths of it. Interesting line. We didn't know it then, but this was the moment it all ended. The moment we compromised everything we believed in the name of our fear. Interesting line. But if we were broken and hopeless by then, he wasn't finished with us. Not nearly. For him, this was only the beginning. A world looked up and saw the impossible being accomplished. They watched in wonder as their heroes stood tall. They allowed themselves to feel safe again. It was a moment to hold on to. We were so confident, so exultant. We were assured of victory. Imagine our surprise then, when it was snatched right out of our hands, when as quickly as it came, it all just fell apart. I don't know, guys. I'm not going to sit here and read the whole book to you. It's a $5 book, though. I'm so on the fence with this. I totally understand why people are pissed at it, and I get annoyed with Nick Spencer's Twitter rants and attempts at liberal ideology. But at the same time, there's some interesting stuff being said in this and being done. We were so sure we'd win. We'd forgotten what it was like to fall, but fall we did. We put all our trust in the wrong person. And Philip Kelton pretty much summarizes it all up. Is the comic about America today? Is it? I think there's some interesting stuff being done here. This is why I was not opposed to using or making Captain America a member of Hydra like this. It's like, well, if Captain America is a reflection of America, even if they don't think that what they're doing is fascism, it's entirely possible that what they're doing is leading them into fascism with the best intentions. In a way to forgiving perspective. So, I don't know. There's some interesting stuff being done here. Like they get this impenetrable shield up as all the really heavy hitter cosmic powers of the Marvel universe are in space, and it's impenetrable even for them. And then it says, and then he's basically locked them out of Earth. Stage 1, Alpha Flight Space Station. Objective, exile via planetary defense shield. Mission accomplished. Then they get New York sealed off. Stage 2, New York City. Objective, isolate via Dark Force dimension. Mission accomplished. Because all the superheroes are in New York, or 90% of them. Stage 3, Washington, D.C. Objective, Hydra takeover. Mission underway. Cap was given all the powers of the United States military and like over the United States military and police force. Yeah, Chris Cooper. I think that it has a lot to do with blind trust and where that leads. Again, there are interesting things being done here. A lot of my trepidation comes from what could just be genuinely interesting, conflicted storytelling. And also just the way Nick Spencer talks on Twitter. I don't think he realizes the real world scope of what he is often discussing. And so that makes reading these books really difficult, and I never quite know what he's doing. It's not bad. There are interesting things here. That much is undeniable. But is it worth it is the big question. Listen, it's comics. If there's something in comics that is pissing you off that is being done with a character, totally get it. 9 times out of 10, though, it'll never stick. And that's very, very important to remember. People hate Green Lantern Emerald Twilight. People hated that for years, considered an insult to the character, and it stuck for a while, and it still has implications on the character, but guess what? Hal Jordan's Green Lantern again. It will come back to what it was, I promise. In very rare cases does a major change like this in the status quo stay. I promise you Cap will not be a Nazi 2 years from now. So again, just if you are really bothered by it, I understand not wanting to read any further. Just again, it's not like I'm telling you you're wrong for being insulted by the idea of making Captain America a Nazi. I get that. It's not being done lightly. There is thought being put into it. There is social commentary involved. Don't take it just at face value. Let me put it that way. Okay. Whew. Pushing on. Oh my. Star Trek, Green Lanterns, Stranger Worlds, number 5 of 6. Oh. Man. See what I do for you? Green Lantern, Star Trek, Stranger Worlds, number 5 of 6. Starting to wrap things up. My fear was there are a lot of irons in the fire right now, and this issue seems to be bringing them together pretty well. people are distracting the hell out of me. And my voice going is not helping with that. But they seem to be bringing together a lot of the plot lines, pretty consistently. We get a lot done in one page. This is an example of pretty damn concise storytelling, I will say. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a soothsayer. I don't know what'll happen, but this just feels wrong to me. We go after Sinestro and leave the Earth undefended with Khan out there running around? I don't like it either, Bones. But we have to pick something. And if what Hal says, yeah, I know what your new best buddy said, but he's not a Starfleet officer. We're sworn to protect Federation space. We go after Sinestro, we might never see it again. And then Spock comes in. We are also sworn to explore strange new worlds, Doctor. An unknown planet located at the center of the universe certainly fits that description. Sorry if I don't think your curiosity is the priority here, Spock. Bones, I am simply suggesting our mission is not only one of defense. And if Sinestro acquires the power he seeks, there may be nothing left to defend. The logical course of action is to trust Hal Jordan. That was pretty good. There's pretty good concise-ass storytelling, and then we get ready to go through these teleport gates to get to Oa, which neat little thing to throw into the Star Trek universe where warp travel is much, much smaller than Green Lantern-style warp, so neat little way to bridge that gap sci-fi-wise. Khan fighting Klingons is kind of cool. This is pretty freaking epic. That's a kick-ass image. I mean, Sinestro using Parallax to just destroy Oa is pretty badass. Philip Kelton's going on about the logical course of action is to trust Hal Jordan. Yes. Spock would never say that if he knew Hal Jordan. The logical course of action in this scenario. I'm pretty sure he knows Hal Jordan by this point. There's some pretty cool imagery in here. Sinestro taking on Oa. I love that even in a world where we don't necessarily need Oa, we somehow contrive a big epic showdown on Oa in front of the central power battery. Love it. And then we get the Enterprise and Manhunter showing up to fight Sinestro. And then Klingons and Khan show up to fight the Enterprise. And so we got just a huge battle looming here while the Guardians are doing something. And it's like, by the sacred pages of the Book of Oa, may you find a worthy bearer, James Tiberius Kirk of Earth. You are chosen. And that's a really cool thing to do. Oh. I don't know. I really enjoyed that. That was a cool little moment. And then we have Sinestro and Khan arguing about who gets to kill who. And Kurt comes in and he's like, both of you, quit talking. Captain's orders. Oh, get ready to fight. That's cool. That's cool. Philip Kelton, I'm pretty sure Oa was never filled with xenomorphs. I've read the Green Lantern Alien crossover, at least the only one I know of, and I'm pretty sure I know for a fact it's not on Oa, so I'm reasonably sure Oa never had to deal with xenomorphs. But yeah, that was a really cool moment. I'm excited to see the showdown. You know, it was a little like it was good because it wasn't it was the obvious thing to do. Give Kirk a Green Lantern ring. It was good that they didn't do that in the last volume, but at the same time, I really wanted to see Kirk use a Green Lantern ring. And so to save it right here for the last issue, what him using it, to save it for the last issue of the next book, that's pretty good. The main issue with this series has just been pacing. I feel like they need more issues to do this in. But this last issue is really, it's tight. How many planets are Green Lanterns? What? No, Earth is not the last sector. There are 3,600 sectors of the universe. The universe is split up into 3,600 sectors. Earth is sector 2814, and each sector gets 2 Green Lanterns. So you can have entire galaxies in a sector. Red's like, wow, I know fucking nothing about Green Lantern then. Correct. Very much correct. You should read some Green Lantern. But yeah, this is just like one of those things where I'm like, hey, this is a pretty tightly plotted issue. There's one problem, which is that Khan is on Kronos and somehow gets to Oa by the end of this, and we have really no idea how. Gets to Oa with the Klingon army, and we have no idea how that happens. That was kind of like, what? No, Nathan Snyder, Tomari is from 2813. He failed to save Krypton. There you go. I don't know. So there's that small problem. I'm sure this doesn't. This feels like it was more well thought out than the last volume. Which the last volume wasn't great, but it's had its moments. This feels a little more well structured, even if I don't like the first issue of this volume that much. And it still takes a while to get going, or it's introducing maybe too many things at once. I don't think you really need Khan, but it's nice to have him with the red ring. It makes sense. Red Leader asked, do the Kryptonians know of Tomar Ray? No, it's just, actually, I think I have it. Hold on a sec, because this is like fun thing to show off. Oh, sorry, comics. American Dreams. Come on. Yeah, man. JLA, you listen to me right now. I gotta find it. God, 90s comics were not pretty. Ugh, that 90s. Feel that 90s, gentlemen. Oh, I love Grant Morrison so much. Of course, we can never get away from Grant Morrison on this show. Where's that? I know it's in this volume. I know it's somewhere in this volume. Oh, Superman Blues also ridiculous. Here you go. That caption, Kal-El of Krypton, I hereby appoint you Green Lantern of Space Sector 2813. Imaginary stories. JLA American Dreams. But yeah. So there's some this story, however. I don't know. Neat idea. I'm having fun with this crossover, if nothing else, and that's pretty much what it's meant to do. It's not the talky Star Trek crossover I'd like, but it's happening. Okay, here we go. I can seriously just do this all night, guys. Okay, so I'm loving Tom King's Batman run. You know that. I am loving me some Tom King's Batman run. I was not a fan of the idea of bringing the Watchmen into the DC universe, but you know, I don't really care about Alan Moore's artistic integrity, and he can go eat a bag of dicks. I really. Here's the thing. Any argument you can make about why we shouldn't bring Watchmen into the DC continuity, like mainline continuity, and use it for random crossover, explain the hell out of our continuity things, you could pretty much just like look to Alan Moore's work. Like the main argument I've heard is, well, it was clearly artistic intent not to be done like anything else with this. These were characters created just for this one story. There's no reason to do anything else, and it's a little insulting to the art. That's one argument I've heard. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You don't want Watchmen ever touched again because you feel like it's too precious an artifact of comic book culture. For Watchmen's already a thing, and it was not nearly as bad as people wanted it to be. Like anything, like it's a stupid idea. It's a comics crossover new universe explanation thing. Was there ever a good idea? I don't know. I really don't care. And frankly, anything that pisses off Alan Moore, I'm game for. So let's get into the button. All that being said, I had very little interest in reading other stuff. Like there's the Teen Titans book was the only other thing that I know of, at least, that was going into the whole Dr. Manhattan thing any further. Oh. This is like the first thing approaching that sense. I had no interest in the Teen Titans book because I don't really care about Teen Titans. I was just happy to be getting good DC comics again. The reason I bought this was for this. I'm the Flash. I'm Batman. 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 I'm the Flash Batman. I bought it entirely for the lenticular cover. It's just it feels good. And it makes a noise. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, Red Leader's having fun. Dongter Manhattan. Yes. We've discussed this. Oh. Okay. So with Tom King writing, we got to talk about paneling, especially in reference to Watchmen. Allow me, just indulge me for a moment. I need to take a look through this. And I need to just flip through pages and check something out, okay? So we get a couple splash pages or full page spreads. But everything else in this issue... Oh, no, we get one page with 3 panels. Okay. All right. With the exception of one page, every single grouping of panels in this comic is a variation of the 9-panel grid, or it's a full page spread slash splash page. Watchmen, for those that don't know, did a lot of work with the fact that it used the 9-panel grid. That was very much an intentional part of Watchmen. So already this has just a little bit more street cred than it might otherwise. What's the story here? Well, Batman is looking at the button that they found in the wall in the middle of watching a fight in a hockey rink. The button hits him with the Speed Force, and he sees Thomas Wayne Batman. Calls Barry, tell him, hey, we need to talk about this. Barry says, give me 1 minute and I'll be there. Literally a minute. At that point, we start getting a countdown, second by second, of what's happening. At 57 seconds, Reverse Flash shows up. And in a matter of seconds, like the rest of this issue, most of this issue takes place over about a minute. It also knows how to set your expectations with that. So we get just the Reverse Flash beating the shit out of Batman for a good long while. Till about the 24-second mark. And then we get this brief little exchange. What are you going to do, What are you going to do, baby bat? Remember, when I blur, no one can touch me. Yeah, that's right. But you know what's also right? When you blur, you can't stand steady unless something solid's touching the ground. What? Batarang to the foot. Like it. Red Leader asks, is this after I Am Bane canon-wise? Yes. So yeah, stabs Reverse Flash in the foot and just beats the shit out, and they fight some more. And seriously, I like this because Tom King writes Bat God, but he writes him in a really believable way, because the thing that I always say about Batman whenever anyone says, hey, who would win in a fight, so-and-so or Batman, the question is always, does he know what's going to happen? Because if the fight's on his terms, relatively speaking, Batman wins every time. It's when it's unpredictable or he doesn't know what's going to happen that things go wrong for him. So we have a literal 1-minute encounter in the Batcave with the Reverse Flash. Batman gets a hit or two in, because he's competent. He understands how things work. But he's still completely unprepared for this. I don't even know if he knows who the Reverse Flash is in this continuity. I like this exchange. Get out of my cave. You have to know you can't win. I know, but I don't need to win. I just need 11 seconds. And so he and Reverse Flash fight some more as we get this countdown till 1. And this is interesting. It's on the page that doesn't fit the 9-panel grid layout. That the one strikes, and Flash isn't here yet. Batman says, overtime. And that's when the Reverse Flash punches the shit out of him. So then he goes and he picks up the button. And we get this really, really interesting page layout. Okay. Picks up the button. Silent panels. God. I saw God. And then the Flash shows up. Whew. That was pretty interesting, as the Reverse Flash is now just like a skeleton. Batman's bleeding to death on the floor. Batman's always bleeding to death on the floor, though. That's a typical Tuesday for Batman. Yeah. That was really interesting. I really like that. It's just a good fight scene, really, of Batman just getting his ass kicked when he's not prepared. That's totally believable for me. And it shows that Reverse Flash is like a really big threat. Red Leader says, wait, Reverse Flash saw Morrison? Yes. Technically, Morrison is still a villain in the DC universe. So, there you have it. I don't know, guys. I'm a little, it's not like great. It's certainly not Tom King's best work, but it's a solid issue. And I mean, just look at the cover. Batman, Flash. Batman, Flash. Batman, Flash. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Also, it's kind of neat to see the Teen Titans thing in this lenticular style too. Even though, yeah, it's disappointing they didn't do more with that. It's like it barely moves. But this was really cool, guys. Lenticular covers are kind of neat. I remember they did this a couple years ago with the DC Villain Month. So I don't know. I'm picking up the rest of the button, mainly for the covers. But that was a pretty strong first issue. I'm excited to see where else this goes. I have seen worse with a crossover for DC continuity purposes. This, not bad. Nice, high stakes way to start things, but still nicely done. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. Guys, I'm exhausted. I came home, checked my emails and stuff, started reading comics, just finished reviewing them. I waited like 5 minutes after finishing comics to start reviewing them. So this has been a very long day of very comic book stuff. Oh, so that was an interesting experience for my vocal cords. Let's talk Rotlop Fan real quick. Audio drama is still chugging along, y'all. We're getting there, getting more stuff from people. Got most of the main characters' stuff recently. Waiting on just a couple more people's couple more of the big stuff, and then it's just compiling and editing it all. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, good things going on there. 8W8. Oh, so yeah, I'm not doing Q&A tonight. Sorry, y'all. But Rotlab fan, audio drama's chugging away. Really excited for you guys to see that. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. Whew. Long night, guys. I'm out of here. My poor voice needs a break. Peace.